Hi and welcome to the Review Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my reviews. Minor spoilers in here and continuing my reviews for the episodes of season 2 of The Boys. This is episode 6 reviews. As per usual, I'll chuck up the screener letter to prove that I had the screener. But yeah, let's get stuck into it. Remember, minor spoilers ahead. This episode could be, it's almost 2 stories in one. Wait, almost 3 stories in one. It feels like the stories are all over the place still. However, I like what they did with this one. This one, it could basically be called Frenchie's story and Superpowers story. So we have a lot of growth here with Frenchie, how he came to be a part of the group, why he acts like he does, where his kind of druggy friends came from, where he kind of learned some of his expertise, how he got kind of roped into being a part of the Black Ops CIA group. And so we have a really massive growth of the Frenchie character, and it adds so much depth to him, to see why he does act like the way he does, why he's trying to be the rescuer, why he wants to rescue people. You know, it's all from his background story, which we get to find out in this. There's a lot of kind of flashbacks as well, flashbacks from 8 years past. You know, they're really going backwards and kind of developing that story, which I thought was a bit weird considering how far we are into this season now. This is episode 6. We only have 2 more to go. I expected them to be kind of hitting the fan with the craziness. Normally, I say normally, we've had one other season, but towards the latter episodes of the first season, we really started to hypen up that adventure, that explosions, and people going boom and superpowers. So talking about the superpower part, we have a heist, and I was going to say Stargirl, Starlight is kind of part of the team now, and she has to kind of, there's a weird dynamic that they have to kind of form to be a part of that team, and I feel like they do it well. It's believable how they kind of integrate her into that. They have a heist. They want to find out some stuff about what's going on with Vought, what is their true intentions, and we see Stormfront kind of involved in that. We also see another superhero villain introduced to us, Lamplight, which I think who plays him, I love him as an actor, but I'll let you find that out for yourself. The way they integrate that into the background story with Frenchie, the way that kind of comes into their breaking into facility, and in this facility we have where there are a bunch of supers being tested on, and so I thought this was very interesting how they dealt with that. We get to see a bunch of crazy stuff happens because there are so many supers in this facility. I say supers, kind of supers. You'll understand when you get into this facility and you see, you understand a little bit about what's going on, why Vought are doing that, why Vought are doing what they're doing. There's a lot of questions kind of answered in this episode. I guess that's kind of why they're bringing it to us like this, because they're saving that. One can only hope that they're saving the big finale for episode 7 and 8. Also in this episode, where we saw the Homefront and Stormfront start to become a thing, how Stormfront was offering her help, how in episode 5, I guess you'll see that pretty soon, how and why she's offered to help. We see them form, I guess you could say, Stormfront and Homelander sitting in the tree. Their relationship is weird. It's not your classic relationship, but you'll understand how it comes into play here. And seeing them together as the power couple, the super villain couple, is very interesting to me to see where they're going to go with this. The major plot, the desire of Vought Industries is revealed, and I guess you'll understand why they are the bad guys. I guess you could have guessed which way they were going, especially with Stormfront involved. But I like them because it really adds weight. Homelander himself is terrifying, but them together, so much more scary. We don't see much of the other supervillains, but what we do see is them just carrying on with the storylines that they've been doing with the Deep. The Deep is completely involved with the church now, and he's kind of like on a recruitment drive. So in episode 5, we see him kind of come together with Maeve. Maeve has a plan that she's kicking into works. She doesn't like what's happening with Homelander. She doesn't like being controlled, so she has a plan to deal with that, and so she's roped in the Deep, and the Deep is kind of spinning his own web. They're all spinning their own webs of what they want. The Deep wants to be back in the 7, and Maeve has an idea of how to get him in the 7. At the same time, A-Train is being pushed to the side because obviously he has his heart condition. He can't be A-Train, and he's I guess his brand is up for grabs, and so the Deep sees a position to help him, to kind of get him involved with the church, and so we see him kind of roping in A-Train, and we see how that outplays. But there isn't much going on with him. There's a few scenes. For the most part, this episode, it's again quite lengthy, just over an hour, I think an hour and 5 minutes long, and it's the superpower heist moments, which I thought were a lot of fun, really quirky superpowers there, and the kind of integration of the relationship between Homelander and Stormfront, and then we see how Starlight is integrated into the boys team. And so I feel like the teams are almost defined rightly now, although there are some reveals, especially with the Frenchie story. It's basically a Frenchie episode, which I thought was very good. It was a nice way to kind of bring all the stories to the front. I was hoping that we would get a massive fight scene with Black Noir, and we didn't get anything from him this episode. He didn't even feature. We didn't even see some of the people that were normally in these episodes so far, like the boss who's running Vought. We didn't see that person. There's a few that I was hoping to see them, kind of considering how many storylines they've got going. They didn't touch on those. But what we do get is fun. It does feel like the pace has kind of slowed down though. They're still massively changing those characters, bringing new characters in, doing character development, and when we do get action scenes, they're great. But this really, they're kind of cementing where these characters are going. It almost feels like season 2 is padding for season 3. And I really hope that's not the case, because we know they've already greenlit season 3 and they're already working on that. And I'm hoping that it's gonna, we'll even get that next year, even with, what's happening around the world, that they'll be able to get us those new episodes. Hopefully it'll be longer. Hopefully they'll release them all at once rather than individual episodes and not piss off all the fans. But it does feel like the first 3 episodes of this season were okay. Those first 3, 4 and 5 were really development of character. 4 had really slowed down. 5 had do some reveals in Stormfront, and we had those plots going everywhere. 6 now seems to be background stories again, and kind of like figuring out what Vought are into. So hopefully 7 and 8 are going to be that big ending that we're hoping for, rather than just padding for season 3. Fingers crossed. I guess we'll see. Let me know in the comments below what you're most excited to see in this episode. I hope you enjoyed these kind of spoiler reviews, well, minor spoiler reviews. Can't see of any way of really getting around not talking about some spoilers in this. That's why I'm doing this type. Let me know if you still like them. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. Do share it around. It does help. We're heading for that 10K subscribers, which I'm really excited for. Thanks so much for watching this. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.